CBS News Colorado investigators now getting results.
After years of fighting for clean water, a Morgan County neighborhood may finally get help. Last year, your investigator, Sean Boyd, broke the story wide open. Her series of reports exposed a water district disaster 20 years in the making and got the attention of Governor Polis. Well, now he is doing what so many other government officials have failed to do. The governor is helping.
And Sean is not letting up. She joins us now live in studio.
Yeah, that's right, Sean. Everyone, of course, deserves clean water.
The governor's thoughts exactly. This is Colorado, not a developing nation. Yet all the checks and balances meant to ensure safe drinking water failed in this case. And neighbors say the people they turned to for help turned a blind eye. While the governor says he's committed to ensuring all Coloradans have clean water, fixing this debacle could take years. The copper insignia on Jesse McCoppin's manufactured home says it was installed May of 2020 by a developer named Fred Gibbs. Problem is, Fred Gibbs died a month earlier. Emails obtained through an open records request show the Colorado Division of Housing knew it and gave its seal of approval anyway, then allowed an unregistered installer to take over for Gibbs. An email from a project manager asks in disbelief. All three of these installations were done unlawfully by an unregistered installer?
They put that information on there knowing that it was false.
While Fred Gibbs didn't install McCoppin's house, he says Gibbs did install the water system here at Prairie View Ranch, where 150 people now live. And where this passes as drinking water. Black sludge that certified lab tests show has unsafe levels of radioactive lead and uranium. McCoppin says the Division of Housing isn't the only one to drop the ball here. Emails, again obtained through an open records request, show the State Water Quality Division knew there was a problem with the water as early as 2007, and yet waited 10 years to act. Now McCoppin says residents receive bottled water notices as they pay hundreds of dollars for water they can't drink.
We have to send that message out every 14 days.
Still.
As a reminder, do not drink the water until further notice.
The state health department says it has no oversight of water systems until they reach a certain size. So after they're built and people are drinking the water. The health department itself calls it a regulatory paradox, one that wasn't in effect when this system was built in 2007. The rule back then said any system expected to one day serve more than 25 people needed design approval before construction, which happened with other water systems. But McCoppin says developers got a pass here. And now he says the infrastructure is failing, and an engineering report found it will cost up to $20 million to fix it.
Thanks for your stories.
Governor Polis learned about the disaster from our reports. What was your reaction when you saw the stories?
Well, first of all, it was shocking. This is a real problem. And my first interest is, oh my gosh, we got to fix it. But also, we got to see where else this might be happening in our state.
McCoppin says what happened here could have been prevented. Morgan County commissioners and a district court judge approved the special district, which is a tax-exempt public entity, even though the service plan called it an LLC, or private for-profit company. They allowed developers to run the Water District Board and bank account for 16 years, while residents were in the dark. Based on tap fees and documents filed with the state auditor's office, McCoppin says at least $1 million is missing. The auditor's office exempted developers from audits for years, despite what McCoppin says were glaring errors in their reports. Reports he shared 2 years ago with the district attorney's office and attorney general's office, who he says have done nothing to help. The governor is a different story.
Should be fully investigated, whether it's the DA, whether it's the Attorney General. If there are laws that were violated, then people should be held criminally responsible.
While Polis wouldn't say what he did after seeing our stories, McCoppin says the state health department and EPA suddenly want to help. They've identified millions in grant money to overhaul the water system. But he says clean water could still be years away.
So in the meantime, we just got to keep that going somehow.
The health department says some grants are approved within months, but this is federal money. And this week, the Trump administration attempted to pause some grants. As for who installed McCoppen's house and others, the Division of Housing says it doesn't know. It says the insignia was filled out by someone who didn't know Fred Gibbs had died. Finally, an attorney for the developers, John Pearson and Doria Gibbs, says they hired a licensed engineer to design the water system and thought state requirements were being followed. He says they've paid engineers to investigate the water and aren't responsible for any missing money. Well, you heard, Governor, he called for an investigation. DA's office told me they're too small to handle this, and McCoppen says all he gets from Attorney General Phil Weiser's office is automated replies.
So certainly more to come on this.
We sure hope somebody steps in and investigates.
And
you know,
something.
it'd be nice if the AG's office would look into this.
Yeah, hopefully they're next. Thank you, Sean.
Sean's been your reporter, your investigator, and your neighbor for nearly 30 years. She has dedicated her life to finding answers all across Colorado. She is a part of the Your Reporter team here at CBS News Colorado, committed to covering Colorado first. If you have an issue you want Your Reporter to dig into and get answers, just visit our website and send us an email.